Hi guys, welcome back to my little series about how the internet works, presented by Cafe Robot. Today we're going to talk about what is JavaScript. In case you have watched my video before, you might recognize this little overview. And there I said that all of our websites consist out of three things. They consist out of HTML, which is short for Hypertext Markup Language, CSS, which is short for Cascading Style Sheets, and JavaScript. Great, so now we know that, but we still don't know what they do. Let's move into that now. One picture I love using when I'm speaking about how the internet works is that one of the house of web. So let's just all imagine that the website we're looking at is like a house. And so all of these three pillars that I was talking about have a certain role. Let's start with the HTML. The HTML is the structure of our house. It decides how big our house is, how many levels we have, and how many rooms we have. Without the HTML, our house could not stand. Then we have the CSS, and CSS is about everything what it looks. So if you think about your house, CSS would be the color of the walls, the floor you chose, and all the nice handles you have throughout your house. So without CSS, your house would still stand, but it would not look really pretty. And then lastly, we have JavaScript. And if you think about our house, then JavaScript makes everything interactive. And what could be interactive in a house? Well, it could be, for example, electricity. So if you flick the light switch, the light turns on. If you open the tap, water comes out. So think about JavaScript as the wiring and the electricity and the infrastructure in your house. Let's look at JavaScript a little bit more. JavaScript is a programming language and it was invented in 1995. And if you think about the CSS and the HTML parts of websites, then JavaScript really has a superpower. And that superpower is that JavaScript can change and update both HTML and CSS, which makes it really fun and cool to work with. And finally, JavaScript is the most popular programming language for the web. So maybe you should get your hands on learning it. Well, that was the history part about it, but I'm sure you guys want to see a bit more of what I'm talking about. So let's look at some examples. The first one. So what we're seeing here is a really cool website, how I think. And every time I click, things are changing. Click, click. And what you see is changing is both the background and this one. And here we're going to have a bit of a closer look with our inspector. And the inspector is really where you can see a lot of things that are going on your website. And this is the markup. So this is the HTML that you're seeing here. And you see that the background image changes. So you see it's flashing, and every time this changes, the URL of the background image and the center image is actually changing. And that is happening because of JavaScript. So some magic going on there. Another example that I want to look at is this beautiful one. So you see a horse, and it gets longer and longer and longer the more I scroll on this side. Let's get our inspector out. And let's look at the body, into the horse. And here you see all these div elements. And when I highlight them, you see that they are actually the legs of the horse. And the more I scroll, the more of them get added, which then results into the legs getting longer and longer and longer. And that is also done by JavaScript. So endless opportunities, guys. Anyways, that was it from today, and see you soon for my next video.